For any Xbox or PlayStation codes or cheap games on any platform, use the referral link in the description. It'll take you to g2a.com. Use the promo code CHES over there and you'll get yourself 3% cash back. Also, I've got a new merchandise store, hats, hoodies and new tee designs, all available right now on the link in the description. Hey guys, welcome to episode number 23 of the second season at Newcastle United. This will be a season roundup. We're also going to be covering my transfer plans for the upcoming season, season number 3 as well. If you didn't see last night's My Player episode, I'm actually ending that series early to squeeze out a third season here at Newcastle before the FIFA 17 cycle starts on the 22nd of September when early access comes out. So we've got about 3 weeks to try and get Season 3 done and dusted. As such, I'm going to be double uploading this series every single day until we're done. This is obviously going to be the second episode of this series you've seen today. If you missed the earlier episode, make sure you check the channel page for it. So, as such, I'm going to be recording in bulk, more so than I have done before. So if there's a specific player you want me to sign in this transfer window, as we move into Season 3, let me know now in the comment section down below or over on Twitter over the course of the next couple of days, because over Thursday and Friday I'm going to be recording so many episodes, as many as I possibly physically can, so that I can get ahead, because A, I obviously want to get Season 3 done, and B, I'm quite busy this weekend, so I've got a lot I need to do, and obviously the main aim for this season is to compete on all 4 fronts for the first time in the series. Domestically in the league, 2 cup competitions, and in the Champions League, providing we can get through the qualification phase in August next season. So do let me know any players you want me to sign right now in the comment section down below and or on Twitter over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours, and I will do my best to sign said players. As things stand though, we're just going to have a quick roundup of this season and then run through the squad, and I'll show you what my thoughts are about who I might be contemplating letting go between now and the end of the upcoming summer transfer window. With regards to the league situation, Manchester United win the league by +2 goal difference. Not points, goal difference. And I kind of feel partly responsible for that. In fact, I feel heavily responsible for that. In the penultimate game of the season, we beat Chelsea by 3-2 at Stamford Bridge. Which would have meant, if they'd have gotten even just a draw out of that game by 2 goals all, they would have won the league. So, sorry Antonio Conte, but that may be my fault. Arsenal finished 3rd, we finished 4th and are in the qualification phase for the Champions League. Man City finished 5th. Norwich, who joined us in the Premier League this year after coming up from the Championship, finished 6th. So very strong performance in the league from 2 of the 3 promoted sides. Unfortunately for Villa, they're going straight back down again. Level on points with 20th placed at West Bromwich Albion, and if it wasn't close enough at the top with +2 goal difference, -1 goal difference is the situation at the bottom with regards to who stays in the BPL and who gets relegated. Southampton survive, Sunderland go down, and Swansea, also on 38 points, survived by a goal difference as well. So very close at the top and the bottom in the BPL this year. Liverpool only down in 10th, Spurs in 9th, so poor seasons from them, but we were able to win the league. We'll have a quick look at the other competitions that we were involved in this year, and then we'll have a glance at the player stats like Golden Boot, etc., and then we'll run through the squad. Watford, unfortunately, beat us in the FA Cup final earlier on this afternoon, so sadly it's a 2-1 defeat there. That's our second cup final that we've had in this series, and the second one, unfortunately, that we've lost. Arsenal 2, Norwich 0 was the win in the Capital One Cup. So a promoted side in the final of both cup competitions, but sadly both losing. We won, of course, the pre-season tournament on penalties. European Super Cup was won by Schalke by 2-1 over Chelsea, and moving into the Champions League, Chelsea also lose there as well by 2-1 to Bayern Munich. Really unfortunate for Chelsea to finish second in the league on goal difference and lose the Champions League final 2-1 to Bayern Munich. The Europa League, however, was won by Valencia, also by 2-1 over Italian side Napoli. So potentially a few cups going where you wouldn't expect, and then a few cups going where you would expect, most notably the Champions League, Bayern Munich winning that. But I don't think anybody saw Watford or Newcastle being in the final of the FA Cup, and considering the seasons we had, Pretty sure nobody saw Watford winning that, but unfortunately they did. Still devastated from that. But Iosi Perez, on a personal note, was able to win the Golden Boot by a single goal ahead of Wayne Rooney and Jamie Vardy. We also have Gerard Deulofeu up there in the top 12 with 11 goals. Arnautovic is there with 10, although we did only buy him in January, didn't we? So a few of those may have been, or probably were, for Stoke. Moving through, no other West Ham, no other Newcastle players there. So actually, let's have a look at the assists. We had Deulofeu top with 14 assists. He had a great season, Gerard Deulofeu, for us. Kovalenko there with 10 as well. Sigurdsson there with 5. Moving further down, Dendoncker there also with 5. And I think that's probably it. And is clean sheets. Unfortunately, no goalkeeper for us anywhere near the top of that list. Is there anyone? Yeah, Sells with 5. Although, to be fair, Tim Krul, is Krul in there somewhere? No, Krul went abroad, didn't he? We sold Tim Krul, and he was our #1 goalkeeper for the first half of the season, so that's probably why Sells is only halfway up that list. So let's have a look at the squad, and we'll see what we want to do for next season. With regards to budget, I mean, I have a little bit left over, so I might try and offer around a few contracts to try and ensure that people are happy to stay. But I think everybody's going to be within contract for the final season, so I probably don't need to do that, thinking about it. So we won't waste any money there. Looking at the squad report, though, we'll see who's done what this season, who's grown, who's decreased, who's had a great season, who hasn't. Mats Sells will remain my #1 goalkeeper next season. Only 5 clean sheets for him, but hopefully we can improve in season #3 with regards to our defensive solidity. Although we did pretty well defensively this year anyway, being the second best defensive side in the league. Fabinho had a very good year at right back for us. 2 goals, 2 assists, decent average rating. £8 million plus Yanmat paid for him. Very pleased with that signing at the beginning of the season. Jules Okore's up 2 as well to 81. He had a good season. Koulibaly's up 1 to 82. He arrived for £17.5 million, has been rock solid for us. No real growth there, unfortunately, though. Emiliano Insua hasn't grown yet, but still been very good for us at left-back. Much better than Haidara. I feel a lot more comfortable with Insua at left-back than I did with Haidara. Dendoncker is up 4, although I have been, as you can probably tell there, training him in specific stats, most notably the defensive side of things for being a CDM. His tackling now is absolutely superb, and his passing too is getting that way also. Moussa Sissoko is down 1. That's probably because of his big 4-month injury with an ACL tear, but he's rumoured to potentially be leaving on transfer deadline day as I record this. Tottenham are interested, however, they keep having bids rejected by Newcastle because they're not offering enough. So I don't know what to do with Moussa. You guys will have to let me know. Do I sell him? Do I keep him? Do we look for someone else to replace him? I'm not sure. Kovalenko up 2, though, to 80 overall. 6 goals, 11 assists for him this season, growing all across the board. He's been fantastic for me this year and still only 21. Another player that's been superb is Gerard Deulofeu. Look at that. 12 goals, 15 assists. What a season. What a season. Growing across the board as well, technically, physically and mentally. Just absolutely superb. One of my best players, if not the best player this year. Perhaps actually not the best player this year. That's Iosi Perez. However, he's homesick for some unknown reason. Wins the Golden Boot. Probably the biggest reason why we were able to qualify for the Champions League. And it looks like he might want to try and force his way out of the club. I'm going to try my best to keep hold of him for obvious reasons. 23 goals in 33 games for him this year. And in actual fact, it was 22 in 29 for competition play. Just absolutely fantastic from him this year. Really hoping that he will decide to stay. Arnautovic was great for me. 10 goals in 41 games, 3 assists. Although, as we say, some were for Stoke. And unfortunately, it's glitched. It's done that stupid thing where we signed Marko Arnautovic for money in January, but it also counted as his contract was expiring at Stoke that he signed for Bayern Munich. So he signed a pre-contract for Bayern Munich in January and signed permanently for me in the January window as well. Because if you look at his contract here at Newcastle, it says he's got 2 years, 1 month left on it. But it also says that he's departing the club. So we are going to lose Marko Arnautovic because FIFA is fucked. So hopefully situations like that are fixed for FIFA 17, but we are going to need to look for a new left-sided midfielder next season, sadly. So that's the situation we find ourselves in. Cedric Bakambu's come in, gone up +2 overall, scored 6 goals in 27 games, 4 assists as well. Not as prolific as I hoped he would be for £20 million, but still been good enough. Definitely stepped up to the plate when Iosi Perez got injured, picking up a hat-trick as well. So Matt Ritchie's definitely a player I'm going to move on. I know that for sure. So he's going to get moved on. No, not much growth for him, and he really wasn't anywhere near as effective for us in the BPL as he was in the Championship. Rico Henry's fantastic. Going to continue to train his defensive stats to try and improve his overall a little bit more, but he's great. Really like him as a backup to Insua. Rolando Aaron's still growing very well. His heading accuracy, for some reason, is up 18. And long passing is up 18. I think actually it should be crossing that's up 18. I've been training long passing and crossing for Rolando Aarons this season. And it should be crossing that's plus 18, not heading accuracy. It's glitched a little bit there as well. Only 20 games played from this year, though, so slightly disappointing. Jamal Lascelles has turned his unhappiness around. He was pretty unhappy, but I was able to play him in a few games towards the end of the season, and he seems to be quite content to stay at the club now, which is good. 23 years of age, 76 rated, will play a bit part role for us next year. Leroy Fer came in. It's been very, very good for me. Delighted with that signing. Really pleased we chose to go for Leroy Fer over a couple of other players. Gylfi Sigurdsson's also been very good for me. Really pleased that we went with him and replaced John Joe Shelby. Favili, yeah, a lot of improvements. They're up 14 to 78, and I'll continue to train him. A couple of youngsters here that were either going to leave or I had to sign them into the first team. So I decided to sign them into the first team. We'll send them out on loan at the beginning of next season if possible. That is the plan at least. Decent physical stats already on Tom Fielding, though, on the left-hand side. Adam Armstrong went out on loan last year. I'll probably try and send him out on loan again for the first 6 months of next season. It's 4 goals in 7 appearances for us, though, in all comps this year. Dominic Iorfa is unhappy. He wants to leave. I'd be tempted to sell him, but I also would kind of like to keep hold of him, but he's unhappy because he's not playing enough. But next season we'll have an extra competition, so maybe he will play enough. Who knows? Chancel Mbemba, very happy at the club. Rock solid for me, up 1 to 78, although Jules Okore and Koulibaly are holding down the starting positions right now. Kevin Mbabu, again, I'm going to try and get him out on loan this year. Isaac Hayden, I will do the same. He's up 4 overall. Dwight Gale, improving physically. He's unhappy, presumably at the lack of games. Yes, he is. I might be tempted to sell Dwight Gale to replace him, but he's not worth much. So I really don't know whether we'll be able to bring anyone of good enough quality to warrant replacing him. Henri Saive is definitely going to leave the club. We tried to move him on in January. We couldn't get rid of him, so I'm going to try again in the summer. And then we've got a few youngsters that are out on loan that will either go out on loan again or be sold. So that's the situation with the squad right now. Like I say, let me know in the comment section down below now or on Twitter on the link down below, what should I do in this transfer window? I will try and implement as many of your guys' suggestions as possible, but like I say, I'm going to be bulk recording over the next couple of days, so make sure you tell me on Twitter over the next 48 hours which players you want me to go for and in what positions you think I should strengthen, and I will try and do exactly what you suggest. But for now, that's going to bring today's episode to a close. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this second season, and if you're looking forward to season number 3, subscribe to the channel too if you're new around here to make sure you don't miss out on season number 3. Newcastle United in the Champions League for the first time in about 20 years, and fingers crossed we can have a decent European competition as well. But for now, that's all for this Wednesday evening. 2 videos a day of this now moving forward, so make sure you check your sub boxes at 4 PM and around about 6 or 6:30 PM every single day. I'll see you next time.